Remember that group chat you accidentally added your grandma to? Awkward, right? Now imagine you're a Trump official and instead of sharing pics of your cat, you're discussing plans to bomb Yemen. And oh yeah, you just added the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic to the group. Yikes. That's the situation some Trump administration officials found themselves in recently. They were using Signal, the encrypted messaging app, to chat about some, shall we say, sensitive military operations. But someone messed up. Big time. Instead of keeping their conversation top secret, they accidentally exposed it to someone who definitely wasn't supposed to see it. Jeffrey Goldberg, the top dog at The Atlantic. Talk about a PR nightmare. So, what is Signal anyway? And why are government officials using it to talk about bombing stuff? Well, Signal is a messaging app that's all about privacy. It's like the Fort Knox of messaging apps. It uses something called end-to-end encryption, which is a fancy way of saying that only the people in the conversation can read the messages. Not even Signal itself can see what you're talking about. This makes it super popular with people who care about privacy, like activists, journalists, and apparently government officials who don't want anyone to know they're talking about bombing Yemen. Think of encryption like this. You and your buddy are trying to have a secret conversation in a room full of people. Everyone can hear you talking, but they can't understand what you're saying because you're speaking in a secret code. That's kind of what encryption does. It scrambles your messages so that only the person with the right key can unscramble them and read them. In the case of Signal, that key is stored on your device, not on Signal's servers. So even if some hacker broke into Signal's headquarters, they still wouldn't be able to read your messages. Pretty neat, huh? Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, if Signal is so secure, why shouldn't government officials use it? Well, it's a bit complicated. You see, the government has its own super-duper secure communication systems. These systems are designed to protect classified information like, plans to bomb Yemen, but these systems can be clunky and inconvenient. Signal, on the other hand, is easy to use. It's like the difference between driving a tank and riding a bicycle. So some government officials, in their infinite wisdom, decided to use Signal for official business, even though it's explicitly against the rules. Section 5 Espionage Act. Not just a dusty old law. Remember that little incident where those Trump officials accidentally shared their Yemen bombing plans with The Atlantic? Turns out that might be a wee bit illegal. See, there's this thing called the Espionage Act, and it's not exactly known for its sense of humor. This law makes it a crime to share classified information with people who aren't authorized to see it. And accidentally adding Jeffrey Goldberg to your Signal chat? Yeah, that doesn't exactly count as authorized. So now these officials might be in some serious legal hot water. Section 6. Security risks, loose lips sink ships, and maybe leak bombing plans. Okay, so maybe these Trump officials didn't mean to share their bombing plans with the world, but that doesn't make it any less of a security risk. When government officials use unsecured communication channels, it's not just their reputations that are at stake, it's national security. Imagine if those bombing plans had fallen into the wrong hands. It could have put lives at risk. It could have jeopardized the entire mission, and all because someone couldn't be bothered to use the official secure communication channels. Section 7. John Bolton is shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Even John Bolton, the former national security advisor known for his love of military intervention, was shocked by this Signal snafu. "I'm stunned," he said. "We have extraordinarily expensive, highly classified systems to communicate among ourselves." He's got a point. The government spends billions of dollars every year on secure communication systems. So why aren't people using them? Section 8. Uncle Sam wants you to use phones. Remember those clunky, inconvenient government phones we talked about earlier? The ones that are about as user-friendly as a brick? Well, those are the phones government officials are to be using for official business. These phones are equipped with all sorts of fancy security features to keep classified information safe from prying eyes. But let's be honest, who wants to carry around two phones? Especially when one of them is about as exciting as watching paint dry. Section 9, the big picture. Why this Signal snafu matters. This whole Signal debacle might seem like just another example of government incompetence, but it's actually a symptom of a much bigger problem: the government's struggle to adapt to the digital age. In today's world, information travels at the speed of light, and the government's old ways of doing things just don't cut it anymore. If the government wants to keep our secrets safe, It needs to find a way to embrace new technologies while still maintaining security, because the bad guys are already using these technologies, and they're not afraid to exploit our weaknesses. So the next time you see a news story about a government official using their personal phone for work, remember this: it's not just about convenience, it's about our national security. Thanks for stopping by today, Hot Reels. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give it a like. Your support helps us bring you more amazing content. Stay connected with us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, Pinterest, and Threads for the latest updates and trending reels. Subscribe now and be part of the fun.